one song that was my all-time favorite, and I would lay in bed and just hope and hope and hope that they would play my song. And often they would. And that moment was like the angels in heaven had come to my room, and I had surround sound around me. You know, the floor was shaking and my bed was vibrating, the angels were, it was like they all had come for me to play me my song. Well, as years went by, I would hear bits and pieces of that song in my head, and it would bring back that memory and those memories. And but I couldn't quite ever remember a lot of the song. And you know, as a little kid, I didn't ever know the name of the song. And to my recollection, there were never words to the song. It was an instrumental song, so I couldn't sing it to someone. Say, hey, do you know this song? And I could only hear it in my head. And as more and more years went by, I even lost it completely. And I didn't hear it anymore. And at one point in my late 30s, maybe early 40s, somewhere in there, I kind of started hearing it again. Once in a while it would come to me. I would hear just a piece of that in my head. And it inspired me to want to find it. I wanted to find that song. So I even called my sister one day and said, hey, you know, when Dad's band used to practice in the basement, they would play this song. It was so cool. It started out with this kind of haunting kind of melody, and then it picked up, and it made you just want to dance, and then it ended again on this beautiful, soft part. Do you remember what that was? No, Kim, that could have been 50 different songs, you know. I mean, no, can you sing a little bit of it? And I said, no, I can't make it come from here out to here. So I became not obsessed, but I was determined. I was determined that I was going to find my song. So one afternoon, it was kind of a rainy, cloudy afternoon, I asked my 9 or 10-year-old son, hey, you want to go see a movie? And he said, yeah, that'd be great. There's this Jackie Chan movie that I want to see. You know what? Let's go see that Jackie Chan movie. And I said, no, there won't be any Jackie Chan. And he said, oh, come on, Mom, I saw the commercial. It looks really good. Jackie Chan does it. And I said, no, if you want to take a friend, we'll call a friend. I'll take you and your friend. You can go to Jackie Chan. I'll go see something else. And he said, no, that's all right. And I said, well, let's look and see what else is showing. So we looked, and I said, look here, there's a Jim Carrey movie. Jim Carrey's funny. You know, this was, remember, 10, 12 years ago. He's funny. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, all that. Remember, you know, he's a funny guy. And he said, oh, yeah, okay. You know, Jim Carrey's all right. Yeah, all right. We can go see that. So we go, and we get to the theater, and get our popcorn and stuff, and sit down. And well, little do I know that this is the one and only Jim Carrey movie that is not funny. In fact, it's a drama. It's a love story. And it's about this guy who has a lot of turbulence in his life, and things are going so badly for him that he doesn't want to live anymore. He wants his life to end. It's called The Majestic. Anybody ever saw The Majestic? Okay. And he gets in his car one day and he just takes off in a rage, and he just wants life to be over. And he takes off driving off into the sunset, and the movie implies that he drives for a long time, and maybe days, I don't know. But at some point in the night, there's a terrible storm, and he has a wreck, and his car goes off a bridge into this turbulent river, and it's washed away. And the viewer is left thinking he has met his demise. But in the morning, an elderly man is walking his dog along the shore, and he finds this stranger lying on the shore, and goes to his aid, and finds that he is indeed alive, and he recognizes the young man, and he takes the young man to the small town doctor and for medical care, and they you know, Band-Aid him up. He's pretty much unhurt, has a few cuts and bruises, but the doctor also recognizes this young man as a long-lost, missing in action soldier who was the son of the theater owner, the Majestic. And they get the young man cleaned up and get him some dry clothes, and they take him to the diner for something to eat, and people at the diner also recognize this young man. And they call his father, and who the Majestic, the theater, has fallen into disrepair, and the father has kind of lost his joy for living. And anyway, they call the father and they bring him down to the diner, and the town embraces this young man. Now, the young man has complete amnesia. Complete and total amnesia. He cannot remember who he is, where he came from, how he got there, nothing. And but the townspeople know who he is, and they are overjoyed to have this young man back in their lives. And so the man and his father set out to refurbish the Majestic, and the town embraces that project too. And one evening, it's a beautiful summer evening, the entire town throws a party to welcome this young man home, this stranger on the shore. And they set up the park with all the makings of a beautiful evening, the twinkling lights in the trees, and a gazebo, and an outdoor dance floor, and live band, and the whole 9 yards. And of course, meanwhile, the young man has rekindled his romance with his high school sweetheart, much to my son's distaste, who is now sitting in his theater chair, something like this. Chewed on his straw till it was in pieces, So the young man and his high school sweetheart come out onto the floor. They're going to dance, and the band starts to play my song. So see, it's going to make me cry. So it starts to play, and I know by the third note, it's my song. And I'm sitting there with my popcorn, and I kind of stand up a little bit because my heart is just racing. And I'm so excited. I want to walk up and down the aisles with my popcorn, throwing it like confetti, shaking people's hands. Oh my gosh, do you know what this means to me? I have waited almost 40 years to hear this song. And of course I don't. I contain myself. And I stand there with my popcorn. My son looks up at me with his, chewed straw. With that look, that only a 9-year-old can give. So, what are you doing? And I said, well, this is a song that my dad's band used to play when I was a little kid, and it was my favorite, and I've waited for so long to hear this song again, and here it is, and now I'm going to know what it is, and I'm going to be able to go buy the soundtrack, and I'm going to be able to lay in my bed and listen to the song, and it's just one of those really, really happy moments. I don't know, maybe you don't understand. He says, oh yeah. Yeah, it's cool. I understand. Kind of like how I'd feel if we were watching Jackie Chan. But yeah, what do you know? You're 9. Anyway, of course, I did buy the soundtrack immediately, and I did plug it into my CD player the moment I could, and it was beautiful, and I didn't care if my 9-year-old wasn't happy. I had my song. And as soon as I put that song in my CD player, I had a picture in my head, a picture of something that I would draw. In my head, I was drawing this picture to this song. And which at the time, I really didn't think anything of it. I was just laying there in complete delight that I had my song. I didn't think about why I was picturing this scene. And I didn't draw at the time. I didn't have a chalkboard. So why that would come to my head, I didn't know, but I didn't care. I didn't think about it. But when Linda Kirk asked me if I would draw something at this event, which I really didn't even know much about the event, I don't think she had even explained the event when she asked me to draw it, I knew right away what I would draw. I knew what I would draw because that spiritual gift was put in place a long time ago. Well, really, a really, really long time ago. And I think life is like that. We lose things at times, and we go through periods of spiritual amnesia, just like the young man in the movie. But that's because there are things in our life that we have to attend to. There are other things. We have small children, or we have aging parents, or we have health concerns, or whatever. And some of those things have to be cooking, and they're not ready yet. But God puts these things in our paths, and he builds them up, and he gets them ready, even though we're not aware that something is being created and something is being planned, and these little lessons that we need to learn and experiences we need to have are all building up for a moment. And it is up to us to remember that we are never alone through all of those, that we have God with us, walking by our side, holding our hand, guiding us through all of those moments. Sometimes they're rough, and sometimes we feel like the stranger on the shore that has complete amnesia, and we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but we're not alone.